guys, I am Jordan Herard Coupe. You are watching Sporty Jordy, and we are finally back in action here. I have had a lot of life changes over the last couple of weeks. I started a new job, which has been very exciting, and I was finally able to leave the sports bar that I worked at for 3.5 going on 4 years, which is a move that I've been desperate to make for a very long time. So things are looking good over here. One thing has not changed, and that is... And now that I've kind of gotten accustomed to everything, I can finally get back in the swing of my weekly videos here with you. And what perfect timing, considering the playoff race is really starting to heat up now. If you aren't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button, considering I'm back, baby. All right, now for the good stuff. This is probably my favorite part of the regular season because we have officially entered must-win territory, which unfortunately is a concept that some teams just aren't grasping right now. The Cincinnati Bengals. Week 14 was honestly a tough one for my well-being. I was under the impression that I was just going to be able to sit back and enjoy the Eagles. They're on their late-ass bye week. I don't have to deal with any of that drama. I can just focus and enjoy some football. But no, that was not the case at all. And now I'm honestly just feeling really confused. Let's go back to Thursday Night Football. Vikings taking on the Steelers. And I've said it before on this channel. The Minnesota Vikings drive me absolutely nuts just because of how inconsistent they are. And now I guess we can just rope the Steelers into this as well. Neither of these teams could beat the Detroit Lions, which is just... It's really sad in and of itself, but then they sprinkle in some really impressive wins throughout to just completely throw it off. And at this point, it's really rude. In regards to Eagles' playoff implications, which is an interesting conversation to have, but nonetheless, I needed the Steelers to win this game. And obviously, we know now that that did not happen. The Vikings woke up and decided they wanted to be good this week after giving the Lions their first win of the season last week. So yeah, it's really fun. Everything's really great. Going back to the Eagles playoff implications topic, I also had to root for the Dallas Cowboys this week. I told you, week 14 was not good to me. And yeah, the Cowboys won, which was great, but that was honestly a really traumatic experience for me. It was not something that I'm used to, and it's something I would never like to be put in that position again, where I have to root for the Cowboys. And if you think I was exaggerating with how bad week 14 actually was, I was also hardcore rooting for the Bengals and the Cardinals, and both of these teams were like, oh, you want to have a nice, fun week? That's so cute. And then they proceeded to crush my soul. Let's put this in perspective. 2 of the only teams to actually pull through for me this week were the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. 2 teams that I don't necessarily like rooting for at all. The Cowboys, I would lean more towards, I hated every second of it. This is a team that honestly just makes me want to hit people. The Bucs are fun. That isn't as bad as the Cowboys. I honestly enjoyed them last season. I just don't want to see another Tom Brady takeover. I'm kind of over it. He's the GOAT. I know he's the GOAT. I'm not denying that. Don't come for me. It's just exhausting. We can all admit that, right? Right? Lamar Jackson also got hurt this week. Wow, this is like actually really pathetic. Literally everything I love was taken from me this week. Almost. We'll get to that. There were some bright sides that are coming up, thank God. But yes, as of right now, Lamar Jackson is dealing with an ankle sprain. It's not a high ankle sprain, which is very good news, but this is just something we're gonna have to watch for the time being. Okay, positive news. The Chargers finally looked like the frickin' Chargers. Justin had a day against a decrepit Giants team. So we already know I loved every single thing about that. I woke up Sunday morning and put on my All I Want for Christmas is Justin Herbert sweatshirt. So I think that did it. The Packers also looked very, very good, which is another thing I always love to see. Aaron Rodgers' resume is now Packers quarterback, sometimes Jeopardy host, and part owner of the Chicago Bears. Boom. And on a serious note, I would like to acknowledge a beautiful moment that happened in the Broncos-Lions game. As we know, earlier this week, we lost an incredible football player, but even more of an incredible human being in Demaryius Thomas, who sadly passed away at the age of 33. The Broncos set up memorials and they honored him beautifully. But on the first play of their game, they only put 10 men out on the field. They did not include an X receiver because this was his position. The refs obviously had to call the penalty, but then the Lions, who were so classy about it, declined, which I just thought was fantastic because a moment like that is bigger than the game itself. And it's not like the Lions were going to win anyway. The Broncos came out and put on an absolute show. It was just all around amazing to watch. Now, as I said earlier, the playoff race is in full swing. And at this point, it is honestly just comical to compare the AFC to the NFC. When you look at all of the teams that are currently in the AFC playoff picture, you're like, yes, this makes sense. When you even look at the teams that are on the bubble and are on the brink of potentially working their way into the playoff picture, you're still like, yes, this makes sense. The NFC, though. The NFC division leaders, you're like, yeah, that's fair. The Rams currently holding the 5th seed, accurate. But when you start getting into the 6th and 7th seeds, and then the teams that are on the bubble here that still somehow have a chance to work their way in, it's a joke. And I'm saying that with my team being in this category. At this point, we should just tell the bottom 2 teams in the NFC playoff picture that we're just replacing them with the 2 AFC teams that are like up on the bubble because the playoffs are supposed to be good. The AFC standings right now, the Patriots still have control of this thing, and they are followed by the Titans, Chiefs, Ravens, Chargers, Colts, and Bills. With the Browns, Bengals, Broncos, Steelers, Raiders, Dolphins just outside. The biggest change from last week are the Bengals falling down 3 spots, being knocked out of the race entirely for the time being, and the Colts, who didn't even play this week, rising up 3 spots and currently holding on to that 6th seed. The Chiefs are on the rise as well, and the Ravens, they're still in it. They dropped down 1 spot after their loss to the Browns, but let's be real here. If Lamar can't bounce back from this injury, can we just remove them now? They did put up a fight against Cleveland. We need to give some appreciation to Tyler Huntley. This team is just so injured already. And now if you're going to be without Lamar or if you're going to have Lamar, but he's not going to be 100%, it's just really sad. Like their punter started warming up as a quarterback, as precaution, just for depth in case anything were to happen to Huntley. But still, things are just a mess right now. I mean, hey, I'm praying Lamar just like magically heals and the Ravens can make something out of the rest of the season. It's just not looking that likely right now. They just started doing like a bunch of work outside of my house. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but if you can, sorry. What's honestly making me the most nervous in the AFC playoff race is the Bills, who are holding on to that 7th seed spot. I understand that they haven't been as dominant as we all expected them to be this season, but I would still feel very weird if they weren't in the playoffs at all. If any of these on the bubble teams were to finesse their way in, I would personally, 1, love to see the Bengals back in there. 2, I would love to see the Miami Dolphins make this miracle run, make it to the playoffs. After everything they went through this season, it would just be iconic. And I had them before the season started. I looked at them as a playoff team. I honestly think they deserve it. In the NFC, the Cardinals' loss in Monday Night Football dropped them from the 1 seed down to the 3 seed, setting the Packers up to number 1. The Buccaneers are currently in 2nd, and then we have the Cowboys, Rams, 49ers, and Washington to finish this off. The teams on the bubble here, no, like, it's so funny. Vikings, Eagles, Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Seahawks, Giants, Bears. Like I said earlier, seeds 1 through 5 make total sense. Everything else gets a little bit iffy, and obviously I'm still going to root for the Eagles to finesse their way in. I don't think that we necessarily deserve it. This is the first year of our sort of rebuild. We're trying to find our identity, but they're still my team. I would still like to see it happen. After this week, we just have 3 more games to go, and I realistically think both conferences have the potential to change drastically before the season wraps up. Let me know your thoughts on this playoff picture and where you think it's going to go. I am very curious as to what you guys think about this. As for week 15, this week kicks off with an unreal game. The Chiefs and the Chargers in Thursday Night Football. The Chargers are fresh off of a win, and the Chiefs are on a 6-game win streak. And after what we saw against the Raiders, I think it's fair to say the Chiefs are back. I was very hesitant to say that. Yes, they've been winning, but I wasn't totally sold yet. Now they have me convinced. I'm buying what they're selling now. We also have Saturday games this week. The Raiders taking on the Browns at 4:30 on Saturday afternoon, and then the Patriots going up against the Colts at 8:20. And then, of course, we have even more excitement on Sunday, December 19th, my mama's birthday. Happy birthday, Mommy. I asked her what she wanted to do for her birthday, and she was like, I want to order in and I want to watch the Eagles. And I was like, oh, cool. So I am the way I am because of you. Perfect. Got it. Love ya. The most intriguing games for this weekend, betting-wise, though, the sun is chasing me. We are just not touching Jacksonville, Houston, because that is one big fat joke. I will give you 3 teams that I like straight up, and then 3 games that I like with the points from Park Sportsbook. First, Saturday afternoon, Raiders versus Browns. Browns are 6-point favorites here, and I am going to take them, but I am taking them money line. The points really scare me here. The Raiders didn't even show up last Sunday against the Chiefs, but then we did see them have an impressive win over the Cowboys in Dallas on Thanksgiving. Since then, there has been a lot of injuries. A lot is up in the air, but on the Browns side, the Browns have 1, struggled consistently winning, and 2, if they win, these games are still very close. Like, they only beat the Lions by 3. So my pick here is Browns money line. Second, I just love these Saturday games. Apparently, the Patriots versus the Colts. And the Colts are favored. I am actually hammering Patriots money line here. You could still take them with the points. Plus 2.5 is very nice if that makes you feel more comfortable. But this honestly just feels very ridiculous to me. The Colts have been strong. Don't get me wrong. Jonathan Taylor could win MVP in my eyes. They're coming off of their bye week. Like, I do get it. But at the same time, the Patriots are the Patriots. They have also had a long time to rest up as well. So yes, I am hardcore Patriots in this one. Now on Sunday, Titans versus Steelers. I don't necessarily know why I picked this game. The Titans are 2-point favorites, but I'm taking the Steelers here plus 2. I usually like to explain my thought process and my reasoning here. These are 2 teams that, like I said, drive me freaking nuts. I can't explain this one. This is just a gut feeling. But yeah, Steelers plus 2. Dolphins versus Jets, I honestly love for some reason. We all know I have a soft spot for the Miami Dolphins, and they're on the up and up right now. Tua has been absolutely fantastic, and this team isn't even in its best form yet. Like, they are still missing pieces, so for them to be figuring it out right now, it's incredible to see. This game is in Miami. They are coming off of their bye week, and the Jets just let the unstable Saints beat them by 21 at home. My camera always dies when I'm like so close to being done. As I was saying, I love the Miami Dolphins -8. Yes, it's a big point spread, but it's not big enough to be that intimidating. I honestly think it's really fair. I can see this being a 10-point game. Fins up, baby. Moving over into Falcons 49ers. The 49ers have just been on an absolute tear. Most recently beating the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime, which is still a very sensitive subject for me. I am in mourning. And unfortunately for my Eagles, I think they get another win this week. They are dealing with so many injuries, and I keep expecting that to get to them, and it just isn't. In this one, though, compared to Miami, I don't feel confident in an 8.5-point spread, so I am taking them straight up. Which is so terrible because I need them to lose for my Eagles, but we have money to win here, people. The Falcons have been looking better and better, though, so I will give them credit. I just think the 49ers are the much stronger team here. And last but certainly not least, Packers-Ravens. 2 weeks ago, this is a game that I would have been so beyond excited for. now it's just kind of making me sad. I wanted this to be a game, and I don't think we're going to get that. Even with his ankle sprain, though, head coach John Harbaugh said he is still expecting Lamar Jackson to be on the field this weekend. The Ravens are still set on making a playoff run. Unfortunately, though, I am so sorry, Lamar. I just don't think it's in the cards for the Ravens here, but Aaron Rodgers is also dealing with an injury to his freaking pinky toe that he keeps flaunting to the world. But even with that, he still looks as strong as ever, and the Packers team as a whole looks as strong as ever. So I really like them -5.5 here. So there you have it. Browns, Patriots, 49ers money line, and then the Steelers +2, Dolphins -8.5, Packers -5.5. Let's have a week. And as always, go Birds. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you can come back next week and see how my picks played out. And you can find me on all socials at TheSportyJordy. Bye.